Hello and welcome. This is the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. Let's begin with the headlines. Ghanaian government responds to viral social media video threatening protests against Nigerians residing in that country. CN moves to strengthen its relationship with Russia as an ally, calls for mutual respect between the two nations. And Speaker House of Representatives calls for the proper positioning of Africa in the United Nations decision-making. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. The Ghanaian government has responded to a viral social media video threatening protests against Nigerians residing in Ghana. During a two-day visit by Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, the minister met with Ghana's Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Al-Blankwa to discuss concerns over the safety of Nigerians and their businesses in Ghana. In a joint briefing, Bianca Ojukwu clarified that there is no cause for alarm, noting that since her arrival, the situation has been calm. She emphasized the need for both countries to foster cordial relations. Concerns about the disparity in residency permit costs for Nigerians in Ghana, Bianca Ojukwu compared to Ghanaians in Nigeria, urging a fairer balance. Similarly, Ghana's Foreign Minister Samuel Ablakwa stated that he had engaged with the Nigerian accused of attempting to establish a kingdom in Ghana, clarifying that there were no territorial ambitions involved. He, however, expressed concern over the rising crime rate involving Nigerians in Ghana, urging them in Ghana to strictly adhere to laws and avoid criminal offenses.
Hate rate, essentially, that Nigeria and Ghana have long been partners.
If these things are not managed well, it could take us back to certain dark occurrences in our history. There is a bigger goal, a bigger Pan-African agenda, where we want to form an all-united states of Africa.
Both nations agreed on the need to strengthen diplomatic relations and ensure peaceful coexistence between the people. The U.S. President's decision to impose 30% tariffs on South Africa starting 1st August has sparked worries among South Africa's ostrich farmers and leather manufacturers who anticipate that it will have impact on profits. From Apanyi reports.
There may be a slowdown on the farms and also in terms of what can be exported to the United States, says Francois De Wet, Managing Director of Cape Karoo International, an ostrich products company. The manufacturer of iconic made-in-the-USA cowboy boots is set to suffer from President Donald Trump's 30% tariffs on South African exports due to come into force Friday. In Texas's most renowned makers of the southern U.S. fashion staple, source the ostrich leather they require exclusively comes from the small South African town of Oudtshoorn, 400 kilometers, that is 250 miles east of Cape Town. Known as the world's ostrich capital, Oudtshoorn is nestled in the semi-arid Little Karoo Valley, just inland of the southern coast, and is home to a few 100,000 people and about as many of the giant birds. We just don't know how bad the impact will be, but positive it wouldn't be, said ostrich farmer.
And we are looking at, at this stage, we're just taking a wait and see approach.
More than half of the global supply of ostrich-derived products, from feathers to leather and meat, comes from nearly 200 farmers around Oudtshoorn, who are joined in the Cape Karoo International Group, says its managing director. South Africa as a whole supplies about 70% of the world's production, he said. Legendary bootmaker Luchis told journalists that it had handmade its footwear in Texas for 141 years, but had to look beyond our borders for additional partners and raw materials as needed. It is the unique climate of the Little Karoo, which gets less than 400 kilometers of rain a year, that makes it ideal for ostrich rearing, says Kotsi, a fourth-generation Utshun farmer. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
And Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has called for the proper positioning of Africa in the United Nations decision-making system, stating that the continent with more than 1.4 billion population should not be relegated. Speaking at the 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliaments in Geneva, Switzerland, Speaker Abbas also told the global audience about the efforts made by the House under his leadership to ensure gender balance in politics and government in Nigeria. The Speaker noted that the conference was held amid global upheavals, including geopolitical conflicts, climate disasters, and stark inequalities, with Africa bearing the heaviest impact of these challenges. At the conference with the theme, A World in Turmoil, Parliamentary Cooperation and Multilateralism for Peace, Justice and Prosperity for All, the Speaker stressed that the Nigerian Parliament has embraced parliamentary cooperation among countries, especially with its legislative diplomacy. Now, Syrian Foreign Minister Assad al-Shabani has expressed his country's desire to maintain Russia as a key ally, emphasizing the need for mutual respect between the two nations. This comes after the overthrow of Syria's previous Moscow-backed government last year. Let's have details from Framapani.
Former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, a key Russian ally in the Middle East, reportedly fled to Moscow last year after being ousted in a lightning rebel offensive that ended 5 decades of rule by the Assad family. Russia's naval base in Tartus and its air base in Maymim, both on Syria's Mediterranean coast, are Moscow's only official military outpost outside the former Soviet Union. The current period is full of various challenges and threats, but it is also an opportunity to build a united and strong Syria. He told his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov during a visit to Moscow that his country is interested in having Russia by its side on this path. Al-Shabani said, but there are a number of factors that determine and complicate these relations. On the ground, he added that the relations should be based on mutual respect. It is unclear whether the new Islamist government, against whom Russia supported Assad's forces with airstrikes in the civil war, will allow Moscow to keep its bases in the country. Lavrov said Russia was ready to provide the Syrian people with all possible assistance in post-conflict reconstruction. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Now, the World Health Organization says that the Mpox virus epidemic remains an international health emergency, with more than 37,000 confirmed cases reported since it erupted. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced the extension of the emergency following a meeting of international experts who noted progress in some countries but also highlighted a surge in West Africa and the spread of the virus outside Africa. The WHO said since the epidemic started in early 2024 in Democratic Republic of Congo, there have been more than 37,000 cases in 25 countries, including 125 deaths. DR Congo accounts for 60% of the confirmed cases and 40% of the deaths from the virus that causes a rash and severe flu-like symptoms. It decided that the epidemic remains an international emergency based on the continuing rise in the number of cases, including a recent increase in West Africa and likely ongoing undetected transmission in some countries beyond the African continent. In the meantime, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, through its health agency, the West African Health Organization, WAHO, is supporting the Nigerian government in enhancing prevention and control measures for Mpox. In collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, WAHO is updating protocols and training healthcare workers who are among the most vulnerable during infectious disease outbreaks. Healthcare workers remain among the most exposed during outbreaks like Mpox, often risking infection as they serve on the front lines. This underscores the urgent need to equip them with the right knowledge and tools to break chains of transmission through strict infection prevention and control practices. After Mpox was declared a public health emergency of continental concern by Africa CDC and earlier listed as a public health emergency of international concern by the WHO, the West African Health Organization, WAHO, provided financial backing to all ECOWAS member states to strengthen response systems. In Nigeria, that support is coming to life as the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is training a group of healthcare workers in Abuja who will cascade the knowledge to colleagues nationwide, sharing vital skills and updated approaches to Mpox prevention and control.
Remember what happened during COVID. Many health professionals were infected. Some lost their lives while caring for patients. We do not want to lose any one of them, while we are also supporting them to have more information, updated knowledge in modern practice of infection prevention and control.
They come from homes, they come from the community, and when they have a healthcare-associated infection, they will take it back to the community and they get infected. So the call today is that the participants should take the training they are getting today and beyond the training to practicalize it.
We want the healthcare providers that are in this workshop to go back to their facilities to train other health workers under them to be conversant with measures in treating Mpox in Nigeria through infection prevention and control.
For the medical workers, this training has built their capacity and they are eager to return to their hospitals and apply what they have learned. As part of the initiative, WAHO and the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare also donated hand sanitizers and waste bins for infection prevention and control IPC units in the Federal Capital Territory, underscoring their commitment to safer healthcare environments. Now, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has disclosed that it generated 2.5 billion naira from its recent raids on illicit drug markets in Lagos, Onitsha, and Aba. Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, revealed this at an interactive session before the House of Representatives Committee on Food and Drug Administration and Control. Now, moving on, the federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, to avert a planned nationwide industrial action. A statement by the head of press and public relations, Patience Onobia, the agreement was reached at a conciliation meeting in Abuja, convened by the Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Megari Dingyadi, following the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum earlier issued by the union. Key demands by NAT include the payment of outstanding earned allowances, implementation of the new minimum wage adjustments, and resolution of withheld salaries and arrears. As part of the resolution, a technical committee comprising relevant government agencies and union representatives has been set up to address the outstanding issues within 2 weeks. The meeting also directed the Ministries of Labor and Education to expedite actions on pending matters, including the renegotiation of the 2009 FGN and NAT agreement. A follow-up meeting is scheduled in 3 weeks to review progress and ensure full implementation of the agreement. You're watching the news on NTA International. We now take a short break. We'll be back with more stories in a moment. To stay with us.
Prepare to be amazed as young stars light up the stage at the 3rd Inclusive African Children's Runway. On August the 2nd, witness children dazzle and sparkle, championing creativity and inclusivity at the FCT Exhibition Pavilion in Abuja. Every stride celebrates confidence, diversity, and joy in a vibrant showcase you won't want to miss. Mark your calendar and join us, experience inspiration, celebrate every child, and make unforgettable memories with us. Reserve your spot today.
For more information, contact Stella at 0703-645-6082 or Precious at 0806-668-6892. Come celebrate creativity and inclusivity with us.
Now, the presidency announces that the tenure of the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeni, which is due to expire on August 31, 2025, has been extended by 1 year. The extension approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will enable Adeni to consolidate ongoing reforms and complete critical initiatives of the present administration, including the modernization of the Nigeria Customs Service, the implementation of the National Single Window Project, and the execution of Nigeria's obligations under the African Continental Free Trade Area Protocol. President Tinubu recognizes Adeni's steadfast leadership and commitment to service. The president is confident that the extension will further strengthen the Nigeria Customs Service in achieving its strategic mandate of trade facilitation, revenue generation, and border security. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Mrs. Omotenioye Majekodunmi as the new Director General of the National Council on Climate Change. She succeeds Dr. Nkiruka Madueke, the pioneer head of the council, appointed by the President in June 2024. Mrs. Majekodunmi, a climate finance expert and environmental lawyer with over 17 years of experience, has worked extensively with global and national institutions on renewable energy, carbon markets, and climate governance. She previously served as the NCC's financial advisor and has played a key role in shaping Nigeria's climate policies and international engagements. The President thanked the outgoing Director General, Dr. Nkiruka Madueke, for her dedicated service and strong foundation for the Council's continued growth. And Majekodumi's appointment reaffirms the Tinubu administration's commitment to tackling climate change as both an environmental necessity and a driver of sustainable economic growth, national security, and social inclusion. Nigeria's National Space Research and Development Agency is participating in NASA's Crew 11 mission set to launch from the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, Florida. The mission will carry the World Seeds payload, a groundbreaking agricultural experiment led by Jaguar Space with contributions from 11 countries, including Nigeria. Nigeria's contribution includes 6 indigenous crop seeds: okra, cowpea, guinea corn, amaranth, maize, and melon, chosen for their nutritional and agricultural value. These seeds will be studied aboard the International Space Station, ISS, to examine their behavior in microgravity and advance research on climate resilience, food security, and future space farming. Following a formal memorandum of understanding between NASA and Jaguar Space, the seeds were delivered to the United States, marking the agency's first biological payload aboard a crewed NASA mission. The milestone highlights NASA's commitment to space-driven solutions for sustainable development and underscores the role of emerging space nations like Nigeria in shaping global scientific progress. Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate International Day of Women and Girls of African Descent, harping on the need for them not to relent in the pursuit of excellence and leaving behind enviable legacy for the coming generations. The event was also marked with the launch of books telling the story behind the smiles of women, and Comfort Fashion tells us more.
It's just like a rose flower that blossoms amidst thorns. That usually is a story of women thriving amidst bustle and hustle. Their resilience is unequal, full of talent and compassion for the growth of the nation. And these depict the true story and attributes of African women and girls.
Today is not a date on calendar only. It is a bold affirmation of identity, our heritage, and our rightful place in shaping history, building societies, and leading the transformative change.
The NTA commits to providing sustained coverage of your events and activities, even as we showcase the efforts of government in ensuring that women and girls of African descent are empowered to achieve their full potential in whatever they engage.
You're not going to get to wherever you want to go on a platter of gold. You have to work at it.
An astute administrator contributing to the conversations at this commemorative event, which aims to spotlight the resilience, cultural richness and leadership of African women and girls, and to inspire the next generation.
The International Day of Women and Girls of African Descent reminds us not only of the injustices that women of African descent have faced throughout the annals of history, but also of their unmatched resilience, strength, and resilience.
2 books, one of which is thriving amidst the hustle and bustle, and the second, Margi, A Journey Through History and Culture, written by Dr. Esther Manza, a former Director General of Women Development Center, were presented to the public to further convey the theme of the day, celebrating the legacy, strength, and the future of African women and girls. Comfort, fashion, NTA News.
In a world where single sentences can spark outrage or inspire calm, public relations professionals have been charged to wield their words wisely with empathy, cultural awareness, and truth, especially when the nation is on edge. A veteran security expert, Emmanuel Ojukwu, gave the message while addressing members of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations NIPR FCT chapter in Abuja. Insecurity, fear, and misinformation have become all too familiar storms sweeping through Nigeria's national space. But former Commissioner of Police Emmanuel Ojukwu says public relations professionals hold a powerful tool, their voice.
Your body language in a security safety environment is key.
At the July edition of the NIPR FCT chapter meeting in Abuja, where public relations officers gathered in numbers, Ojukwu delivered a compelling lecture on communication in security-sensitive environments. His core message: words must be timely, truthful, and sensitive to the emotional climate of the people. In moments of crisis, he warned, silence is not golden. It is dangerous.
Now, in a crisis situation, communication and response will be timely. Time is of the essence. Because if it's not given in time, bring that vacuum when the world all have information void, somebody will bring a narrative which is not correct.
So whether we like it or not, public relations is a leadership function. So it's not just enough for us to be appointed as directors of public relations. You need to sharpen your skill. And this is a platform that offers our members that opportunity.
As part of efforts to promote excellence in public relations practice, the FCT Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Olushola Odomusu, was honored by the NIPR for training 250 officers in sign language, a bold step towards inclusion and service excellence.
The initiative to train officers and men in sign language was birthed by the reality that we still have people within the society whose voices are not heard, who are neglected.
Meanwhile, the institute also received the progress report from the PR and Leadership Club Curriculum Committee at this month's general meeting, a move geared towards deepening PR professionalism and grooming future leaders. Justin Bemuni. Now, the Cross River State government is set to harmonize pensions, establish care and support facilities across the state, among other initiatives geared towards improving the welfare of the senior citizens in the state. Governor Bassey Otu revealed these at the official launch and disbursement of 250 million naira grant to retirees for start-up of micro small-scale businesses. Justina Etim reports.
It is no secret that retirees in the country often face financial difficulties due to delay in payments of retirement benefits, while the meager monthly pension is usually inadequate to cater for their basic needs. Through the Retiree Entrepreneurship Development Initiative, Governor Bassey Otu is rewriting the story of retired civil servants, beginning with these 500 retirees being empowered with skills and the sum of 500,000 naira each to launch their businesses, create wealth, improve their livelihood towards ensuring a financially stable post-service years.
I produce sachet water before now, and I want to go into fish farming with this money because it is mostly agro-allied empowerment that I take this money to be.
The governor has really done it because what I never expected came to pass. So with this, I am going to expand my business.
Governor 2, represented by the Deputy Governor Peter Ode, says the initiative will be extended to the central and northern parts of the state.
The committee has been set up already to work out the framework for the policy of the aid in the state. This and other people-oriented program and project implemented by my administration is in partial fulfillment of the vow I made with my God and the pledge I made before the good people of the state to live the standard of living of my people. Director General of the State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Agency and other stakeholders lauded the initiative.
And I said, thank God for the governor we have in this and who declared that we should do entrepreneurship at all levels. And said, let's start with the retirees. I know as we move on, we're going to trickle down even to our children. We have a program for them, Kids Camp.
The state government is hoping that the funds will be used to drive business growth, stimulating economic activity in the states. In Calabar, Justina Etem, NTA News.
And this is where the news ends. Thank you so much for being there. My name is Justin Abemun. You do have a wonderful evening.